Hey guys, it's Diana, Art by Diana Myers, and this is my art page, and it's Paint and Create with Diana, Thursday nights, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every single week. And we are going to do a little box canvas. If you've been following along, you know what, I do some palette knifing and a lot of acrylic painting, and I love these little canvases. And I was going to do a chair, changed my mind, but I like to do like a room on this one. You see the picture, and then the pot, and then the basket on a table in the window, maybe a dresser with a mirror. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to paint that. And I got some little tiny brushes out and some water, and I just picked out a bunch of colors. I try to keep them as minimal as I can. I got some cools and I got some warms, and you can watch me as I paint and just talk. Let you know that I do all different types of stuff. I was an oil painter like a long time. I'm old, and I enjoy my painting. It got me through a lot of hard times. You don't even go in my life as last few years or last 6 years since like my mother died. She had a bad case of Alzheimer's. Boy, that stuff's bad news. I don't want to drag you down, but so I use my art as kind of a healing thing. And really, you might find that when you're having a bad day, there's certain things that you do. It could be reading, maybe you work out, maybe you bake. Me, I paint, or I create. Let me see. So I'm trying to get you guys up here on the page so I can watch to make sure I got this all centered. And I still having problems learning this iPad. I used to just not even do it, and then I keep drifting off the camera, you know. I haven't got my own cameraman. This is not high tech here. I'm the technician. Oh, I'm the manager. I'm the, what do they call us now? Digital creator, the artist, the cleaner-upper. We do it all, us little guys. Let's see if I can, oops, no, that's the wrong one. Let's try, well, that's the wrong one. Try this one. I think I got it. I might have it. Hold on, guys. Oh, no, it's still not doing it. What am I doing wrong? See your page. I'm on live. Am I right in my hair? There I am. Oh, here I am. My hair looks good today, if I do say so myself. Don't always have, when you get curly hair, I was looking through some of my old videos. I've been transferring them over to YouTube. I have like a different hairdo every day. That's the problem with curly hair. Hey, Joellen, good evening, guys. Hey, some days are good, some days are bad. Kind of dry outside. It was raining yesterday, and I said I gotta wash it because it's just not. It's just fuzzy. Hey, not a bad problem to have.
Some days are
I got
good,
hair,
some days are
right?
bad. Kind of dry outside. It was raining yesterday, and
So let me turn the sound on this thing.
Hey guys.
Anyways,
Hey,
I have two other groups. Is the sound off or not? Come on.
Let me turn the sound on this thing.
Anyways,
I have
sorry, I hate it when this happens and I can't seem to get it where I want it. There you go. Then I go back over, and there I am. Sometimes if I put something in the comment section, people pop up. Yeah, there you go. All right, so anyways, I got this little canvas I'm going to do tonight. And how now, brown cow? You'll hear Joellen making some funny little comments. I am monetized on this page now for comments and shares and likes and just conversations and stuff, which is a good thing. So anytime you want to just chime in and just how now, brown cow, or whatever you want to do, I make a couple of pennies. And I just recently, the same thing happened to my professional profile, or my Hey Cindy, or my my own page, which is professional profile. They kind of make you, not make you, but it's suggested. So I do stuff over there. So I just recently got monetized on there too. It's not a lot. It's a couple dollars at a time, but it helps. And then I guess I'm almost 30 days over 500. I finally hit 500 on there. I get stars. So if you want to give stars, you know, hey. So anyways, yeah. So every little bit helps, you know. And I don't know what you guys. I had that last essential stencils, which I hadn't planned on doing. They had a big sale, and I bought a bunch of stuff, and I think Lori bought some. Anyways, I got a nice little check. I can buy lunch with it. I mean, you know, that's pretty good. So, you know, I got a lot of stuff, and then we will be doing some gnomes. But this weekend, we're going to be doing those envelopes. I'll explain to you how to do it and how we're going to do a challenge anybody that's on here right now. But in the meantime, we're just going to do my little box canvas. Maybe a little palette knife it. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I'll turn this around. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm making you dizzy. Let me put my link up there. So if you want to come over and... No, not a new link. I want the other link. Save links. Yeah, that link. No. No, I don't want that. Ugh, it's so irritating. Save links. Done. 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 The link, I hope the link's up. Link. Show. Okay, it's up there. So anyways, I don't know who's trying to get a hold of me. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. We got like a couple of groups that I have. One's a paid membership. We do a little more fancier stuff in there. Not real fancy, but we do tracers too. And next week we're doing this. It's a little palette knife. A little palette knifing. A little paint. Not real hard, but pretty simple and cool. Sometimes simple stuff's better, you know. And then in my other group, we're going to be doing envelopes, guys. I'll explain it to you Saturday and what the challenge is. So let me turn this around. I'll get you down here and get painting. People like to get painting right away, which I have learned because I've had to go through my YouTube channel and put in, because Facebook doesn't want us to share or store our videos anymore. FYI, if you are wanting to watch this at a later date, make it within 30 days. And then it takes a couple days so I can let it cook. And then I can transfer it over to YouTube or as soon as I get to it. But at first I couldn't figure out. I think it takes a couple of days before they let it go over there. So I'm going to get a small round brush here. I got some small brushes out. I got like a small flat. I got a really tiny pointy one. I got a long rigger, which is this long stringy one. Then I got kind of a small round brush. So small work, small brushes. Big work, big brushes. All right, so I think I need a little bigger brush. Let me see. I want to kind of go in and start what I call blocking in, putting in some color. I'm thinking I want the walls in this kind of blue. I put this somewhere, get this out. So I'm going to do that first. I like to block it in and start getting the color in there and start making decisions. See a nice square tip here so I can kind of come in here and start putting stuff in. This room is very dry, and these canvases are a little thicker, a little better quality. So you may find that if you're doing oil painting, you're going to want to add more linseed oil. If you're doing acrylics, you're going to want to add a little bit more water, which would be considered your medium. All right, so we just kind of go. I don't know. I just want blue walls. I mean, I might probably put highlights all over the place, but I don't know if it's going to be like kind of a bedroom, maybe. Hey, Kat. Thank you, Kat. Always appreciate it. Got to keep the doors open. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So this is going to be like a little pot on a table here, too. So I got to this is kind of detail-y work. But you know what's funny is I like doing big ones once in a while. Don't do them too often, but I do them. I have them. But I kind of like the coziness of doing something small. And I think that all started when someone asked me to do a snowman with an SU hat on it, because SU team here, because your grandson likes snowmen. So I made these little cards. And the next thing you know, so I said, well, why don't you do... So I had a little shoebox in my shop on my station, right next to my station. I had a little glass mirrored section. We had a blocked all in. We had a little fancy shop, and we went and I said, okay, so next thing you know, it was the greatest thing because it was, it's like you're doing all different paintings. You're learning different techniques. You're using different colors. You're creating different things like I did snowmen and pots of flowers and, landscapes and jingle bells and snowmen and, Christmas trees. The next thing you know, I really got a lot of time in a painting simply by having 2 or 3 little paintings, maybe more a week, depending on how many people were buying them. Sometimes I just had to copy what, they all want the same thing. Sometimes one painting, which is kind of what happens now, might be more popular than other ones. So this is a great way to get your time in. Like right now we're doing the ATC group. That's another good way of, even if it's just multimedia, it's another good way of having small art and getting some of your time in, Now I went ahead because I've messed the bottom of these up all the time. So I had a few pieces here, but I just taped it all up. So if I move around, I drop some paint, I kind of, but you can put this on an easel. I do have a big brown wood easel, which is not out right now. It's another whole story. It will be eventually. And you can move that block all the way up and hold that. So, but if you're working flat, it's okay. But you're going to move the canvas around, especially when you're doing, I'm going to do the sides too. So you kind of want to make sure that back is covered up. I mean, you don't have to, but I suggest it. All right, so I'm going to use some white in here. I got a little blue in my brush. I got a dirty brush. So I'm going to put a lot of white in here, but there's a little blue in there, which is good. And it's going to give us a little bit of just a little color in the window here. I'm not too worried about hitting anything because we're going to detail at the end. And most artists would call this blocking in. You're just filling in and kind of getting the design that you penciled in, or you just draw. Some people just paint with a brush. Just getting most of it in there, that's all I'm doing. Now, this is going to be like a table, and that's going to be a basket. So I'm just take some brown, a little bit of yellow, a lot of brown. I'm going to take that flat brush, and I'm going to kind of just go like that. Kind of a circular motion. Bring it up with an indication of a basket. Kind of make sure I put a little bit of indication of this handle. Darken the spot up a little bit. All right. So now the table could be any color, but I'm gonna I'll make that pretty dark. Let's mix that brown and little blue together, a dark blue and a brown. It'll kind of be pretty dark. And I'm gonna come right in here and start doing my table. Now there will be reflections coming off of this, so then you'll be able to define the table more. Now see how I'm just using the edge of my brush to kind of chisel in what I want. Yes, I want to, I'm in this, you see I've made some really goofy reels because I'm in this challenge with the business group that I'm in. Well, now it won't let me post the reel, but I did a couple of crazy, but I used to do them on Instagram. That way I could hit like 2 places at once. Now on Instagram, I let them, I agreed to something, I can't remember exactly what it said, but now they're like posting stuff that I'm not even sure, that they're just things I posted. I have like a section there with all my art in it. So they're like posting all this stuff. I'm like, what the hell? So the one thing that I wanted to post in that group, in my business group, they won't let me post. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I hit a button or sometimes things happen with Facebook, if anybody who's been on it for a while knows. And it just won't cooperate for a while. So sometimes I just wait it out. And I'll go look at my settings and, good times. But it all started when I did that today. It was only the second one I made in like a long time. I just hadn't done any in there. I mean, I post stuff on there, but I hadn't made any reels. So, I did it, and now I got a problem. At least for that group, everything else is fine. I went through and checked everything, you know. That's a little off kilter, but we'll adjust that. Yeah, so I was kind of messing with that. I never got back to the YouTube. Made my cookies. Made some food. Did some cleaning. My daughter's coming tomorrow night, so I'm going to kind of clean the house up a little bit. So we're going to put blue in between these legs, because these legs are going to be separated, so the wall's blue. So I'm going to kind of come in here and, remember, I'm still blocking in right here. This is going to have a floor here. Maybe we'll do this floor like a lighter brown. Let's do a brown and a yellow and a white. Be kind of a light colored tannish, maybe a wood floor right here. See that? Can you see that? Am I off kilter again? Let me see. Come on. Yeah, you can see. Okay. And I'm going to do the floor down here too. The yellow, the brown, and the white. That's these colors right here, guys. Basic. These are just Art Deco art paints I'm using tonight. Okay. I'm going to come in here and kind of dip floor in a little bit. And then, you know, I'm not going to do it perfect, because, you know, I like my Impressionism. So that's a good thing about Impressionism. You just squint your eyes and give the impression of. So just as long as you got the main things, the contrast, the color, you know, and the indication of whatever it is you're doing, you're pretty much there. So let's make these legs a little brown too. Kind of screwed up this side a little bit. That's okay. Still blacking in. We ain't doing any real big highlights or anything yet. Just like this little corner here, so we'll put a little white there instead of the brown. Kind of shade that in a little bit. Give the indication of a corner. There. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to put a little more blue on that. Going to have flowers in here. So what should I do with the trim up there? Should I make that white? Probably. So let's make like an off-white. I made that tan with the yellow and the brown. And I could just take white, the color like the floor, and kind of make a wood trim almost. I'm going to go right in there. Almost the same colors, it's not as dark. Just kind of put this in. Don't worry about this. I can come back and do that. Just like drawing when you were a kid. Kind of. Not with crayons, though. Love my crayons. You guys see a stupid reel I did? We were supposed to do something that people think that we do and what we actually do. So I made up this goofy thing where I was I put paint on myself. I hate to laugh at myself. I couldn't think of anything else to do, so I was like, I'll be goofy. Well, didn't turn out quite like how I wanted it. I have to do all the editing myself, so I can't guarantee how things are always going to be. It's alright, but it's kind of goofy. There's going to be flowers here in a minute. I'm just still blocking in. Yeah, I need more brown right here. This still doesn't look right here. Table, chair, basket doesn't need to be dead center. Sometimes it's more interesting if something isn't dead center. You guys know what I mean. That's true. It's a better thing. Brown and blue. That's why this doesn't come out. I can do brown and blue right here. Kind of tones it down a little bit. Now, I'm going to make this, I'm going to go back to my little tiny brown. I had my hand, my little round one. And I'm going to make this pot, like an orange color. That's why I got this out. Oh, lately I'm into orange. And orange and blue, if you guys know anything about the color wheel, which do I have it out? Where is it? Where's my color wheel? We need to do a class on that. I did it in my other group, the paid group. But if you look at the color wheel, here's orange. Anything that goes across from it is going to look good with it. Anything next to it looks good with it. If you mix these two, you use them for a shadow color, and they wash each other out and they look like a gray. But if you use anything across, like if you use blue, orange looks good. If you use orange, blue looks good. If you use green, red looks good with it. Just like Christmas. That's why they look good together. So just a little tip there when you're picking out colors. You got to have a little color wheel. They're kind of, you can even go online and download them, or if you buy them, like some people got, I think I got a couple more left. I've been giving out for Happy Meal. They're fairly reasonable, not too bad. So there's my little pot, my vase. And I'm going to put another little bit brown and blue, make a nice dark table. Brown and blue kind of, brown is basically red and blue, or red, or any deep color, reddish color. So to me, the opposite of color red would be green. So you could use some kind of green to neutralize this brown too, but the blue is pretty close, so I use that. That's my rationale. So you'll learn as you get older, or as you do it for get older. As you go along, there's certain things that'll work for you, and certain things that won't. That kind of comes with the territory of being an artist. You just kind of, after a while, you just kind of know, you know. But you should, you know, I make color blocks when I do a painting. I'm doing a big painting, and I want to save time. I mix the colors I'm going to use, and, you know, maybe I'm doing a sunset, and it's a lighter at the bottom and brighter at the top, darker at the top. So I'll mix 3 different blues, you know, dark to light, to get their values so I can figure out what I'm doing, you know. You know, maybe the sky, you know, the thing is, if you're outside too, it changes so fast, so fast. I got the wrong blue here. I need this blue. So anyways, actually I gotta do the floor color there. Well, I screwed up. Okay, I went brown. I got this medium that I'm trying. It's supposed to be like a glaze. You can actually, I think you can use it in what do they call that? Like in a pour. I had to look it up because I got all these things that I bought a kit last year from Goldwell. And I know there's directions in there on how to do it, but I don't know. So this is supposed to be off in the distance, so maybe we'll do this instead. Yeah, this can be like that. Yeah. So we'll make that top part in blue. We'll do this right here in blue. So I'm still experimenting. I got a little bit on my palette here. I'm going to use it like a gel medium when this gets done. I'm just going to coat the top. They said the problem is sometimes it'll bubble. And I haven't reasoned out why it does that yet anyways. Alright, so now I want to do this mirror press. So I'll do the same thing. I'm going to rinse this brush out. I'll get some blue and white. The lighter blue. I got 2 blues on here. And I'll kind of come in here and just indication that there's just some light on that. And I want to make that kind of yellowish gold. I'll take a little brown, a lot of yellow. Kind of make it a golden color, maybe a touch of orange. I'm just going to kind of put the indication of a mirror out here. Same thing, I get the round brush again. Kind of a mirror. I'll go behind it with the blue. So we got a little room going here. This is something Van Gogh would do. He was famous. If you guys ever seen his one where he does like a bedroom A lot of artists will do a room. Kalo did rooms. A lot of them. Good practice too. I used to sit at my mother's and do all her furniture. Sometimes it didn't look exactly like it as, and I do it with pencil. Oh, it looks okay, but you're missing. Well, I like doing it this way because I couldn't achieve whatever, but I got close enough that it looked like the table or it looked like the lamp, but it wasn't close enough to, be exacting. So, but that's how you learn, Sometimes your virgin looks better too, so don't even put yourself down. You might do something. Say, I wish my furniture looked that good, But yeah, I did like her lamp, and I think my sister still got up in the wall there at the house. A lamp, a funky lamp she had with like it comes to a point, and then it has like all the shiny beads, very Victorian looking. I loved it, so I painted it. Let's give this a little darker frame too, brown and blue. More of a mirror. This is more of a mirror. Yeah, I think it's still in the wall. I should take a picture sometime. Probably have a picture somewhere. I don't know. So doing like stuff like this, hard stuff is, or should I say hard stuff? Things that have a very boxy shape or furniture, like it's a good way to learn some. I'm getting a little achy. It's a good way to learn some brush control. Doing these small canvases, do little square things. Great way to learn brush control. My sister's learning a new technique. It's a Donna Blueberry, and I've been watching her work. It's pretty good. But I think her only really problem, I don't think she realizes it yet, is brush control. Donna Blueberry is famous. It's her type of, you gotta like put a certain colors at the tip and on one side and the other, and like ripple to make like roses and stuff. It's about control. So learning to control your brush in these little ones is really a good thing. If your arm gets tired, you can also lean it up against something. Sometimes, like on my big ones, I will use like a bar. They have ones you can buy, but anything will do, a stick, a mop. So I'm kind of varying these browns here. So a little brush control is a good thing to learn. Different techniques, brush techniques, good. I should do that. See, one of the girls did. I should do a little thing on brush, not just the types of brushes, but what to do with them. I should do that, huh? I don't know if I did that in my other group. I should look. I think I did something similar, what they were for, but I didn't really. Yeah, I did do some. Yeah, I did. Different brushes will do different things. So instead of battling with one brush, sometimes it's better to have a little, round brush does one thing, an angle brush does another, a filbert does something else, so. But then, you might find you're really better with one, just getting all different sizes too, Just thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. So I want this to look like a dresser or a table. So I'm going to put some little ball feet here, maybe. So I'm thinking maybe a couple little door pulls. Let me put a little brown in here more because then I think it'll match a little bit. So it is bright and cheerful too, so that's where the flowers will come in. So let me get some green. I'm gonna make the same thing, the small brush. And I'm gonna start putting some let's kind of adjust that basket first. Let's work on that basket. I'm gonna do some browns and some yellows and maybe even a little orange. Kind of start working on this basket. Some flowers to go over the top of it, so I'm thinking, well, I better do this first. Up and down and over, up and down and over. You don't need to do every single little piece of it, just some. Now this is going to get covered up by some of the bushes, you know, the flowers, but that's okay because it'll still be in there. It'll be indication. It'll kind of just be in the background. A little blue again. I'm going to darken one corner. What's new, Pussycat? What's it? How's that go? What's new, Pussy? It's a song, right? Isn't it? Jack and Jill went up the hill. I don't know, how'd that joke go? There's Jack and Jill went up the hill. I don't know, something. My father used to have this joke about they went up the hill a bucket and a half, and came down and she was pregnant or something. I don't know how the joke went. I don't remember. It was some kind of stupid. There used to be a lot of those Jack and Jill jokes. I have to go look. Do a little white in here so I can indication of some highlights. We're gonna get a really small brush for this. Wait a minute. I got a dinky teeny weeny little brush here. This will be really handy dandy for this. Yeah, there you go. Handy dandy for this. Really small brush strokes. This is the kind of brush I take with me when I go if I go out and paint outside with my watercolors, and you know, just little pieces of paper. So it takes the small brushes to me. That's why I bought this. Is what this is for originally. Anything small. Some color. I don't like just a flat brown. I like a little color in there. Let's put a little color in there. Yeah, so now, go back to that little round brush. And I'm just going to start plopping in some green because I'm going to let it dry. Oops. And come back over it and put some flowers in. Now, if I got any main flowers, I might want to block those in. Sometimes getting those bright colors in. I got some violet here. So let's just kind of make some little mushy flowers here because we can make them fancy pantsy. Put them right up in here, one right in here. Then we'll just fill in the greenery. There we go. Kind of balance it out the best you can. Yeah, you don't want them all together, but you don't want them everything on top of each other. So let's get that tiny brush back out and keep making our little leaves here. Kind of mad about that Facebook thing. I want to get that thing in there. I can't get it in. It's gonna drive me nuts to figure it out. You think it does? I do. It drives me nuts. I'll just be able to sleep. I won't be able to sleep sometimes. I woke up this morning. I was thinking about something I had to do on Facebook. So I don't remember. I must have figured it out. Must have figured it out. Little green and yellow ones too. Some different colors ones here too. You can put some on the ground right here if you want to. So this one, there's no picture for it. You know, usually I get a picture. Like when I did that bottle one, I actually have a picture. It's actually right here. But sometimes, you know, you just want to, you got a thought in your head, something you want to try. Like I've been watching that. I told you that Mona Aldesco. She's an Italian. She doesn't even speak English. Artist, and she does all palette knife. And she does rooms. I like it when she does, like she's sitting in her front room, you can see French doors, and she's looking out over Italy, and you have all these, she does all the buildings. It's fascinating. She paints it all in like this first though. And then she goes, hers are a little bit bigger. I got the next size up. I'm going to be doing them next. That's what I did those pots on. And she will come in and do like, she'll do the whole room, penciled in. Then she'll do like what I'm doing. And then she comes back with the palette knife and does the whole thing with palette knife. It's fascinating, guys. Fascinating. Fascinating. So do I want a little more flowers in there? Maybe. Maybe some blue and purple. Mix some blue into that purple. That should be pretty, right? That's that dark purple and the blue. kind of just put a few more in there. Make it interesting. A little more deeper. Everything's about contrast, light and dark. You want to have lights and darks, you know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Oh, that's another subject. Do you guys like jelly beans? You probably figure I like everything, but I don't like jelly beans except Wegmans Just Born. Of course, everybody's got them now, so I ordered a couple bags off Amazon. They were okay. They were still good because I really like them. But then I went over to Wegmans, and she bought me 2 fresh bags. Let me tell you something. Diana ate a whole bag this week. And I got another bag up in that cupboard, and it's like been calling me. It's my own fault. It's my own fault. I shouldn't have bought them. Should have let her buy. Well, I was there. We were grocery shopping, but so I'm just kind of adding colors as I go. I still feel like I need one more color. I shall think about it. Let it dry. Let's do this right here. Let me rinse it off. I get too much green in there. They're so good. Just Born. They're called the only good ones. Some people like those Skittles, but I don't know. Some people like the Skittles ones. I like food. I love sweets, so that's always been a problem, even when I was younger. Of course, I was so active, it burned everything off. I never had to worry about it. Just put a little highlights on this. Now let's, I'm going to rinse this off. I got the little tiny brush. Let me get my, I got a rigger. It's a really thin one. I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to roll it. So I get some nice long ones here. I still got some blue behind there. Let me put that blue, fill that blue in. Let me fill that blue in. Too much water in my brush. Too much water in my brush. I'll put a little blue back here maybe too. Maybe I'll fill that in a little bit. So I can add more color over the top. I'm going to put some of this blue in. Yeah. That might be a good thing. So now we're really getting into the details here. Really getting into the details. Go back to that green. Just make some long strips. And I potted up some plants today. They were little, and they didn't grow much, but they grew enough so that I could pot them up. Plants are ridiculous. And of course, I gave a few to my sister to hold over for me until, after the house. So I was in there like 3 days. Everything was starting to die. I had a lot of plants too. So anyways, I kept one. So as I've been going, I've been adding on. And let me tell you something. They're ridiculous. And used to be people, I don't think people have time to grow plants. It used to be, like, anybody got any cuttings? Nobody. And my sisters, I love my sister Sherry's got kind of a green thumb. Lisa, she's like my mother. She'll water a dead plant like my mother does. I watered it for you. No, Mom. So she's been doing real good. I had her do some out in the yard, so she's gotten better at it, but it's not like her thing. She plants my mother's grave, and she does like, different boxes out front. We always did for my mom. Loved her flowers out front, so we do her boxes. But she's not her thing. So I can't never really find it. So I end up buying these little tiny ones, and I kind of like growing things from seed. I'm doing a lot of highlights now, guys. So anyways, they got pretty big, so I had to pot them up. And I enjoyed it. The one, it's like a purple, you guys remember the purple passion plant? If you remember. It's kind of like that, but it's a different type of purple. So I found this like pretty purple, like this pot, just a plastic one, like a blue purple. My God, they look so good together. Sometimes a pot can really make a difference. I took some of this purple, I put it in here like a reflection. When you're doing any kind of artwork, whether you think so or not, it will reflect in everything that, unless you're doing like maybe abstract or something, everything reflects off everything else. They call it secondary and all kinds of names for it, but what it basically means, like, you ever like be sitting on your couch, you'll see like a ray of light in your wall and the room's dark, you're like, where is that light coming from? Well, it could be a light fixture outside, like one of those city light lamps, hit a car, and that light bounced off maybe something shiny you got on your roof, and then it comes in through the window and it hits your wall. That's what it does, reflective light. So when you're painting something, if you want a little more realism, experiment with where it would bounce off of. When you get into flowers and trees, there's a lot going on. See, it's like I said, you can't paint every tree or every flower, but you can do some reflective, maybe like if you know where the light's coming in, maybe one side of a bush, do a little lighter. Maybe the light, you feel like it's coming this way. Do one side of the chair, one side of a lamp, one side of a tree, you know. You ain't gotta do every leaf, just make them a little bit lighter on that side. If you see, that's what Bob Ross did, the whole forest, big green splotches, and he comes back and he does a lighter color splotches. And you get all that reflection without having to do every single thing, you know. But, you know, be aware that that is going on if you want a little more realism in your paintings. Just experiment with it a little bit, you know. Okay, so now I can kind of, I can even come back here, and I can make the indication. Let me get that round brush. I don't like to put my wrong brush, these in there, because they end up getting bent on me. I'll take some green and yellow, a little that brown just to tone it down a little bit. And I'll come out here and I'll kind of like do bushes in the window. Maybe there's a Christmas tree or something, or a pine tree or something out here. Yellow, green, a little brown, tone it down. Just kind of tone it down a little bit. Not too much. I could even do it up on this side here. There's like a tree here or something. You could even think like maybe there's some flowers out there too. We could do that purple, a little white. Make like a lighter violet. Maybe come in here and do a few flowers in there. Oh, maybe a pink. I think I need a pink. Let's get some pink. I think I need some pink. I didn't put no pink out here or red, so you get the idea how like now you just kind of are showing the outside off by simply adding a little bit of bushes and a little bit of color. There's flowers out there too. Maybe there's a lilac bush or something, you know. Maybe some pink over here too. Just kind of make it a little fun. Make it a little fun. Maybe it's a rose bush. That's what it is. It's a rose bush, I decided. I can't wait. I knew rose bush coming. And then I found out that Ollie's. I've had good luck with, you know, those cheap stores flowers. I mean, $9. I remember getting them for like $3 or $4 there, many. And I had two that were massive up the front of my house. And that's where I got them from. I couldn't touch. There's no. They just grow things in the field. And if it grows, they sell them, you know. So I ordered two from David Austin. You don't want to know what I paid, but they're gorgeous. But you know, I also buy cheap too. I don't necessarily have to go real high end, you know. But they're both climbers, so they'll take up a lot of room out front. So you kind of fill it out pretty fast because there's like nothing here. You know what I mean? It's just like you walk out front in the middle of summer. It's like just like you're in a desert. It's so hot out there. In my house, I had sunny areas, but I had a lot of shade areas, so you could just kind of tuck underneath a bush or a small tree, and you were out of it. You know, can't do that here. No place to go. I got a guy coming who's gonna. The door got frozen. That's another whole story, and I'm gonna have him give me an idea of what it's gonna cost to put a just like some kind of overhang or something. I don't know. I don't really want to spend the money on a big old porch. It's just me. I sit out there anyways. I go out there in the morning to have my coffee. Add a little pink and purple. See, I'm just kind of, as I go, I'm trying to figure out what I want in my picture, you know. Right, so if I wanted a little reflection off this, I could take that small brush and come back with some white. Just kind of make a little, maybe even a little blue there, a little blue and white. Just kind of make an indication at the windows, you know, doing something here. Reflection, right? A little darkness and kind of come in here and corner up these corners. Corner up, let's corner up. Sometimes it's just nice to just play with your brush and just paint this little cozy area. And I'm sitting here drinking my diet ginger ale. I wish we could have music, because you can't use certain types of music unless you own it. I guess they're doing, like I am doing a lot of music now, but they tell me I have to revenue share, which I guess that's what they're doing. They tell me they're doing. Used to be you couldn't use any of them. Every time I had all those fancy songs, they wouldn't give me any money, which wasn't much anyway. So you make such a big deal about giving you some money. I'm like, they don't give crap. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about it. But on the other hand, then they started sending these notices out threatening everybody. So it's like, you know, something. So everybody doesn't use music. And so now we are, because they got their own music, and it's gotten better, but at first it was so bad, so bad. It was like, I don't want to hear that, you know. All right, so Jack and Jill went up a hill with a pail and came back pregnant. I don't know how that went. It was a joke my father used to tell. All right, so we're getting there, right? Let's put like a little bit of that blue back over here, kind of corner this up a little bit. See, this is the good, like in the kitchen. I got like all the small ones like this are on the backsplash in my kitchen. I just started doing that, took the other one down. Because they like fit good, you know. Small kitchen. So I bought none of this size, or like the next size up. Well, not the next size, or the next size up. This is pretty good size. I'm going to do a couple of these to sell too, so I'm going to eventually put them all where I want them. Just haven't gotten to it yet. My daughter's staying for 4 days this weekend, so we're going to do some stuff. Got to go over and order some brick. When they built the foundation for this, they kind of had to push in a bunch of gravel over the foundation. Told it's like on a hill. So the gravel's there, but the guy came and put the driveway in. It's kind of just falling. So not falling, but it's just like rolling. So I went up there and swept some of it up. I'm kind of highlighting with some yellow and orange here. And so I found this brick I wanted. It's a long story, but I think we're going to try to do it. I think we're going to have grandson do it. Just put it around the edges. So Jacob's like, well, why don't you just do this? And no, I went to think, why? I says, because I'm going to plant flowers there. I'm going to put dirt over top of it. She says, oh, Mom. I said, well, it'll fill it in. It'll be perennials. I'll never have to touch it again once in a while. Just go out there and weed. It beats having to put something ugly out there and to look at it. I mean, it's, you know, whatever. The prices aren't bad. Everything's, you know, summertime, so everything's on sale right now. This, you know, the first few weeks, which is funny because I don't always buy too much, because I'll tell you what happens is if you wait, everybody plants the first few weeks through May, and then nobody plants for most of the summer except for gardeners, and that's when I find the markdowns. Because I say you won't have a big selection, but yeah, pretty good selection, you know, if you're good at growing plants. So I hope you guys come over to see it, because you got a new challenge. I can't wait to show you these little envelopes that I'm doing. I'll show you how to do them. And there's all the different things that you can do. And it's going to be fun. It's not real complicated. You don't need a tracer. You got to download anything. You know, you just do it. I still ain't got this chair right here. Should be like, but if I do that, I got to move the leg, right? I'm just kind of messing with this. I got to move the leg, I think. That's what the problem is. What did I drop? I dropped something. I think I have to move this leg. Wait. Oh, no, I could do that. No, I can't. Gets a little complicated when you turn the corners. You got to kind of make this into a floor here, too. You got to kind of figure out, because you got to turn. So this is the floor. Brown and yellow. That is the floor. So he's kind of sitting against the wall. So this side is the floor too. All right. Yeah. So then there's the table. It'll go like this. Okay, the leg's in the wrong place. That's okay, because we got acrylic paint and we can fix it. Well, like I said, with oil, we'd be here 2 weeks from now trying to figure this out, right? Not necessarily, but just as if you're a newbie. So that's pretty close. Pretty close. Use this yellow, make like boards. They're like boards, right? Like boards. Oh, it's too close to the leg, you can't. A little bit of white on the leg too. See, originally that was going to be a chair. But then I changed my mind. Oops, shoot, I keep doing it to that pretty thing I got. Okay. There we go. Now we got to figure out where the wall ends. So I'm going to go like this. I'll let that dry. I got to put some more floor in there. And then let's see. Put some floor on the bottom of this. Whew. Okay, let's see. Yellow, orange, a little brown. I'm going to kind of make a floor here. Anybody out there wants to let us know you're watching, just say hi, hey, or hi. Come over later if you want to rewatch this. I'm going to transfer it over to the Artsy Rose group. Just to let you know again that Facebook has changed their policies about saving these, so they will be going over to YouTube. So, used to be things just got lost. Now, you know, that's one of the reasons I stayed in the group. Now I'm going to kind of, let's take some of this white and blue and kind of wash out this wall a little bit. Just kind of wash it out a little bit. Make it look more painterly. Someone told me that because I do a lot of Impressionism, and I was like, never heard that before. So I like a little washed out wall here. Let's take some more yellow right here too. Kind of brighten that up a little bit. This I made more like a painting, so let's do like a yellow and a green. Kind of make a frame with it. Go. Rinse it out. We'll put some more blue in there. We kind of want to make, I kind of want to make it like it looks like a person, so we'll see if we can do that. Or something is in there. I don't know. We could make like a pot of flowers, right? I'm good at that. Just kind of like this a lighter background here. Let's get the pink. Let us know you're here. Makes this page go farther. That's always a good thing. And let's put some little flower there. Been here 5 years. I've been doing this now. It doesn't even seem possible. I started doing painting with twists. I was there like 3 years. They closed, or I was still been there. Before we did this, I've been doing painting for, living pretty much since then. COVID kind of did my shop in. I had a salon. It wasn't just me, it was a couple of other girls. Well, one had died, one since died since then, and their clients, our clients, all were dying anyways. I knew this was going to happen, so I was looking into buying a painting with a twist. I couldn't believe the price. So when I saw he was hiring, boy, I jumped right on it. Luckily, I had recently just started getting into acrylics because I was looking for brighter colors. Because that's the big thing about doing impressionism. You want color. You need color. Isn't that pretty? Oh, kind of cool, right? Let's kind of fix this handle right here. I get this really tiny brush, so I'm going to kind of do a little blue in the wall right here. I'll kind of push that handle where it needs to be. Some orange right here. Oops. Just kind of do a few highlights. Still gotta finish those flowers. Yeah, let it dry because I'm gonna put some flowers over top of that. So let me cut this down a little bit. Just coming in with my light blue there and kind of adjusting this a little bit. Gonna lighten this up a little bit, I think. Lighten this up a little bit. Yeah, I like that better. Yeah. A little yellow and white. Yeah. Yeah, that white kind of perked that up a little bit. Kind of like the indication of some light here too. I'll make a little more yellow on that frame, I think. A little more yellow. Tone that blue down a little bit. A little white on this too, right here, this edge. Darken a corner up so it gives a little depth here. A little depth. A little shadow on that side might darken this up a little bit. Darken this up. Because you know that ledge from the window is going to be right here. It's going to be a little dark corner. That'll give it some contrast. Okay. And the light probably coming in from the window, so we want to kind of maybe do a little bit in here too. That's too light. Let's kind of blend that out a little brown. That's better. The edge is too perfect. Let's come in around that off a bit. Let's round that off a little bit. And let's take the blue and the brown, kind of darken this up right here. Let's darken that up. Give it a little shadow. A little shadow. And a little light. You know, it's time to start working in the yard. I went out there and counted. I have like 14, 15 tulips in the one section. I'm like, oh yeah. I think I bought a mixed pack. Or I either bought a mixed pack or I bought all pink because I love pink. I did buy some red roses, but they're kind of pinky red. Then the ones I got are like a salmon pink from last year, and I couldn't believe they bloomed. It was god-awful hot last year. Oh, was it horrible. So they like it cold, but they like it warm too. These are called, they're not a floribund, but they're called, I can't think of the word. Oh, it means they'll bloom the whole summer off and on. I mean, they bloom the best in June, obviously, but I'm adding some yellow now. Blue and yellow looks good together, so I'm going to put some of that in. Purple and yellow look good together. Just throwing in some pops of color, fill in the empty spots. Then I'll probably finish with some white. I'll carry some of that yellow into here too. Some of the reflections, maybe a little of that orange too, just a little bit. Some orange up in here. Gives a little personality. And another thing I don't like, which makes it, and I know like a lot of the newer plants, they make them really perfect when they do a pot of plants, but really, there's going to be some little odd things that kind of stick out a little bit here. I like those. I like the ones that kind of are a little wonky. So make a few kind of hang out. It makes it look a little more real. Know what I mean? At least I think so. Let's see, the light would be coming in up here, so you know, a little more whitish flowers right up in here would be a plus. And then you want to darken, take that blue and maybe add a little more dark flowers down in here, because this is going to be shady and it kind of anchors everything and puts it on the ground. So that's why you need to do some dark shade under here, because not only will it ground it, but it'll indicate there's more light coming in on the top. So whatever you're using, kind of darken the bottom of it up. I'm putting some greens in too. And the inside of your bouquet is going to be dark too, because all those flowers are kind of sitting on top of it. So there's going to be some darkness in between. You can either do blue and green and darken it up, or darken up some flowers. I'm going to kind of darken up the center just a tiny bit. And then I'll make the flowers at the top a little brighter, lighter. Isn't it cute? I love flowers. I just can't help myself. I don't know. I just love them. Even half my clothes either got something on it that says artist something or just get flowers. That's pretty much it. I'll probably go back later and keep messing with it, you know. Maybe I'll put some flowers on that. That needs some highlights or something, but my butt hurts, so we're pretty much done. That's cute too. That little planter, that thing came out cute, huh? So now you got yourself like a little room or a little bedroom. Cute, huh? That's a keeper. I hang that in the kitchen too. I'm gonna do a whole bunch of these black ones like this. I need to get some more. That was my last black one. Plus, there's a couple out there that I wasn't crazy about. I might get painted over. I do that. So, anyways, anybody that's new, that's what I do when I'm doing that. Hey, Anna. What's it, Anna? When I do my little box canvases, or when I do my palette knife work, I do little images. A couple weeks ago, I did some flower, like windows. I have them right here, like glass plants, glass bottles, and then I did another one with a little birdhouse. So you can go find those. They're there. So that's pretty much it for tonight. I will see you guys Saturday. Make sure you go on over, Anna, or who's ever new over here wants to go see what I do. You got to go over to the Artsy Rose. And there is a whole bunch of videos and tracers in the guide section at the top of that group, which is wonderful. But they just started 30 days. We have to store them on YouTube. So now you can go to YouTube. I put 130 something videos on YouTube. A lot of them you're not going to see because I made them private because they're from my other group, my paid group. So you won't see them. You'll see some. You might. I don't think you see the unlisted ones. I think you might only see the public one. But there's almost 140, and I have like 300 more to go. Or so I don't even know. I have a lot. So I'm not going to put them all in there. Just most of them. So when I do the new ones like this, I'm going to. I think it takes them like a day or two to cook them. So I can share this into my Artsy Rose group, which is what I do. But then after 30 days, if you haven't watched it, YouTube gives you the choice. I just did one this morning of keeping it or I put it into my phone if I'm not sure. But most of all the new ones I've been putting right into YouTube. So just let you know, you got 30 days or you got to go to YouTube. So make sure you go over there and get yourself an account, get yourself set up. You're going to see a lot of the artists are going to have to store it somewhere. Some of them might even just spend the money and open their own little website. I have a website, but it's not for that, and it costs money. So I'm not ready to do that, but you could. There's all kinds of things. There's Patreon and, you know, all kinds of stuff they can put it into. So just to make you aware, I don't know what part of the country. Somebody said they didn't. I said, no, you might not have heard of it because Facebook does that. They roll out stuff in different countries and one end of the country, then the next thing. And then it's better if it's before me because then I get tips and tricks. If we're the first side of the country to roll out something new, it's not easy. So, yeah. Yeah. So I will see you guys, Saturday. My other group, we're doing this one, which I think it fell. No, it's right here. In 2 weeks, Friday, a little palette knifing on a long one. And Saturday, we're doing envelopes. We're doing a challenge with those envelope designs that I made, a bunch of them. And there's no template or nothing. I'm going to show you how to do it. You can figure it out on your own. Where's the one I did? So make sure you come over. This one I did, I'll show you how to do it with a, one of them things. What do they call it? I cannot think anymore. Oh, a ruler, so you can measure it out. I'll show you how to do it. But you can do it in design. I'll show you Saturday. And I did one multimedia. I did one like with watercolor. So it looks like little envelopes. I did one multimedia with little cherry stamps on it. So we'll go over all that Saturday, and that's going to be our challenge. And I'm going to give out something good. So I will see you guys Saturday. All right, guys? So have a great night, and I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. And make art. Make lots of art. Lots of art. All right, bye.